everyone, this is VK. Welcome to Smid World. Here I am with another video.
In this video, we will see how to do bearing maintenance to get the good life. In bearing maintenance, we have three topics: how to do mounting, how to do lubrication, and how to do dismounting. Importance of proper mounting procedures to do ensure safety, to get simplicity and speed the process, using full bearing capabilities. Fourth one, get the longest possible bearing life. And last, fifth one, prevent rings from turning on. Factors causing bearing failure. This is percentage wise we are given here. Poor lubrication, almost 30 to 35%. Fatigue failure, 34%. Improper mounting, 16%. Contamination, 14%. These figures varies, depends on your environment and working culture. Bearing mounting, preparing of assembly elements for mounting. We recommended that mounting method to include checking of assembly components, dimensional, form, surface quality such as shaft, housings, axial fixing elements, sealing. Clean surrounding elements, clean environment. Use of correct mounting procedures. Check if bearing is mounted correctly or not. Operating test. In bearing mounting, important rules: the working temperature should be in between 18 to 22 degrees centigrade. It is good for the bearing. And humidity max 60%. Sweat hands can cause bearing corrosion, so avoid water while you are mounting the bearings. Use tools in good condition. Keep tools organized. In mounting rooms, do not have to exit grinders, dust sources, vibrations. Bearing mounting, bearing preparing. If it is new bearings, original packing, then protect against corrosion. No need to remove preservative. Remove packing the same day of mounting. If it was older bearings, damaged packing or older than 2 years from the packing date, reused bearings, check the bearing aspect. Washing in diesel mineral spirit, measure diameters, clearances, remove of corrosion smaller than 5 mm, forbidden on raceways. Don't rotate the bearing before washing. Bearing mounting, shaft and housing preparing. You can see in the pictures, right and wrong. Marked one. Mounting surfaces should be clean and smooth. No hit signs, no burrs. Use rasp and clean. No corrosion signs. Measure shaft housing diameter, oval shape, tapering. Measure mounting radius. Forbidden to mounting on shaft with smaller diameters. Mounting on shaft with bigger diameters. Both are dangerous. Both are leads to bearing failures. Axial fixing elements. Axial fixing of rings is done through supporting sleeves or axial lock nuts mounted on the frontal surface of the shaft. At the axial fixing elements, there are not accepted following defects: local wears, cracks and pinches, sticking marks, inclusions. Devices for bearing mounting: mechanical tools for cold mounting, for cylindrical bore bearing with 50 mm diameter, small pressing forces, less than 50 mm, small pressing forces required for cold mounting. Rules: forces should not be transmitted through rolling elements. The force should be through inner race. Anti-fretting paste. This paste can increase interference fit between housing and bearing and can stop ring turning into housing. This is optional, not recommendation. Bearing mounting. Devices for bearing mounting. You can see in picture. These are proper tools for tapered bore, small and medium bearings, hook spanner, impact spanner for tapered bore, large bearings, hydraulic nut and pump. Mounting of spherical bearings with tapered bore. The tightening is achieved through axial displacement of the inner ring mounted on adapted sleeve. The tightening is evaluated through the reduction of the radial clearances axial displacement. We can see values of the radial clearances reduction after mounting according to initial clearances. Devices for bearing mounting. For medium and large bearings, cylindrical and spherical roller bearings, separable bearing filaments, oil bath, electric heat plate, rotate rings or use mounting sleeves, induction heat. Don't heat bearings for 110 degrees centigrade, more than that. Don't force elements during mounting. Don't heat bearings with open flame. After the mounting, check if bolts have been well tight, bearings radial clearances, bearing rotation by hand if possible. How to check the clearances? You can see in the picture. The filler gauge, it should go thoroughly from this side to that side. And operational test. A good bearing mounted should have no strange noise, no high temperature, no vibration, no lubrication leakage, no other defects. Bearing mounting. Faulty mounting, regular wear of bearings, accidents, machine general operation. During dismounting, don't damage shafts and housings. Don't damage surrounding parts. Ensure cleanliness, good bearings. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Wear gloves and clean tools. How? Bearing dismounting is realized by mechanical, thermal and hydraulic means in reverse order than mounting operation. Bearing dismounting tools: jaw puller, mechanical or hydraulic, depends on the capacity of how much force we required. Bearing separator, tapered bore bearing dismounting, you can see in picture. Another ways to dismount a bearing: induction heating or thermal aluminum extractor for small and medium dimension cylindrical bearings. Lubrication effects: bearing lubrication general considerations: reduce the friction, to reduce dissipating heat and cooling, to cover seals from contamination, corrosion protection, extends fatigue life. For lubricant selection, we need to take in consideration following: bearing size, load, temperature, speed. So depends upon all these factors, we need to see what type of lubrication is required. Bearing lubrication, oil type, advantages of the oil. Good results at high temperature, can be cooled, evacuate the heat produces within the bearing. Many ways to feed the bearing: pressurized systems, oil bath, oil mist cleaner can be used a system that can collect foreign particles, can allow replacement of the lubricant without dismounting the bearings. Oil level must be periodically checked. Is required daily maintenance. We need to check oil levels, oil filters. Bearing lubrication, grease type, advantages of the grease: simple construction of the bearing, sealing safer and cheaper, bearing protection from external hazards, smaller danger on grease leakage than liquids. Preventive maintenance of bearings. Preventive maintenance techniques are employed to ensure that a bearing is operating properly. Changes in noise, vibration, temperature, lubrication. These characteristics depends on the lubrication conditions, including speed, loading, lubrication and environment. Detecting a change from the baseline condition will indicate possible deterioration of the bearing and suggest an immediate maintenance action. Useful tools for bearing monitor: electronic stethoscope can determine noise levels, able to find parts with defects. Sound meter, instrument for measuring sound level in decibels. Thermocouples, the instrument for measuring temperature. Thermocouple must be in contact with the object. Infrared thermometer, able to measure temperature from distance. This permits temperature measurement from a distance without contact the object to be measured. A non-contact infrared thermometer is useful for measuring temperatures under circumstances where thermocouples or other probe type sensors cannot be used or do not produce accurate data for a variety of reasons. Thermal camera, this device which create an image with the accurate temperature data, providing crucial information about condition of equipments, can offer inspection of the equipments more safer than at peak operation. Endoscope, the maintenance camera with the LED lighting enveloped in a flexible tube, able to give images from spaces hard to reach. So internally we can check. Accelerometer. Accelerometer sensors accurately measure vibration, shock, acceleration and motion for monitoring. Many common problems in machines such as imbalance, play, misalignment can be evaluated by measuring vibrations. Vibration analysis of bearing with outer ring defect. Failures due to lubricant defect. Failure, inner rim crack, cause greasing only on one side. Countermeasures: grease both sides. Sometimes right ungreased side, left greased side. You can see in the picture ungreased side and greased side. Ungreased side it's a little bit burned, and the worn out is more, and you can see rupture happened, friction happened between the inner ring and ball. So while you are doing greasing, you take care grease should pass both sides. Failures due to lubricant contamination. Abrasive wear on roller race face, and causes lubricant contamination with abrasive material, or use of abrasive particles from surrounding components. Abrasive wear on the outer ring race face. Countermeasures: improve system cleanliness. Defect: corrosion, lubricant contamination with water, causes moisture penetration, wrong sealing. Countermeasures: improve sealing, use of anti-corrosion additives. Fatigue failure defect: flaking, repeated stresses developed in the contact elements is nothing but a fatigue. Cause structural changes and fatigue cracks originating in the loaded zone due to load cycles. Countermeasure: use a bearing with a higher load carrying if longer life is required. You can see in the pictures normal wear pattern and flaking due to vibration, and equally spaced at the roller pitch in equal periodic time. Failure due to mounting defect: roller inside and flange wear, cause axial overloading, shaft deflection. Countermeasure: check and correct axis clearances of mounted bearings. You can see in the picture the roller side worn out, edges of the roller worn out. Defect: overheating, seizure or uneven wear, cause overloading of one raceway, small radial clearances. Reason: improper heating of inner ring. Countermeasure: use proper mounting tools. So inner ring, inner side overheat and outer side due to this unequal expansion contrast will happen, so damage will occur. The storage of bearings: bearings must be stored on special shelf on horizontal position in rooms with low humidity, maximum 60% humidity. Above that maybe there is a chance to get the corrosion. Forbidden: store bearings directly on the ground on sleeves from green lumbers near to cold and wet walls. Stress calculates: life and stress calculation. RBC rolling bearing calculation calculates the reference life, modified reference life, fast and precise computing of loads, efforts and lubricating conditions, calculating of the characteristics of all bearing types.